I'm excited to have friend of the show, transgender advocate and pilot Jessica Taylor joining us to share with this breaking news. Jessica, it is so good to see your face. I love you. I miss you. Welcome back to DBL. Before we get to it, I want to first ask how you're doing, because you just beat COVID-19. How are you feeling?
Yeah, I still have the lingering effects of it. So I'm still dealing with what they call post-viral asthma, which we're hoping it will go away over time. I never had it as a kid, but here it is. And I think it's just the fact that I had infection in my lungs that was difficult to get rid of. But things are seeming to look up right now, which is a really good thing.
Good to hear it. Now, how does this decision make you feel as a transgender woman, Jessica? Speak to us.
Sam, you know of anybody that I'm friends with, that 6 years ago when you and I joined on Dr. Drew to talk about the fight for LGBTQ people in the United States, these type of things were the things that we were talking about. In 1963, we saw the Civil Rights Act, or 64, we saw the Civil Rights Act protecting everybody, essentially, to the rights to work in the United States. Sex was one of those words in the 1964 Civil Rights Act, which now is defined as LGBTQ. This is the most historic moment for the LGBTQ community in history. The fact that I don't have to go to work anymore and see somebody come up to me and tell me that I'm getting fired because I'm transgender, and the fact that people within our community, within the trans community, Amy Stevens from Michigan died before she heard this decision being read by the Supreme Court, and most historically, the most conservative justices reading this decision is absolutely historic for all of us.
Wow. I'm so happy for Jessica. It's Tori. I'm so thrilled for you. I'm just so happy for you. I also love seeing Roberts and Gorsuch take over and go to the right side of history. Prior to today, members of the LGBTQ plus community could be legally fired because of their gender identity or sexual orientation. Why do you think it took so long?
I think we've had to prove ourselves. I think Sam said something before in the last segment. She said, I'm human. That's what we've been trying to prove for 7, 8, 9, 10 since our existence, is that we're just human. We want to work hard for these companies. We want to be assets to these companies. We want to be cherished for our differences. And we also want to bring in people like us that have those same differences and same abilities to do our jobs into these companies. And you're right, these conservative justices are seeing that we are valuable people and assets in our community, not just these things that the conservative community has drummed up in their head as things that we are, just like the bathroom topic. We revisit these things all the time because it's just this sick ideology of who we are. Now we're meeting the reality of these people are humans, they're American citizens, and they're going to work, and you can't fire them just on the basis of transgender, LGBTQ, any of the acronym.
Amen. Oh my gosh, Jessica, I see the emotion, and you just, I'm just so happy that you're happy. I'm just so happy that equality, I feel like there's this big awakening happening, right? Whether it be the Black Lives Matter movement, whether it be trans lives, how do you think this legislation will impact? Speaking of the Black Lives Matter movement, do you see them going in hand?
They were minorities. Of course, it goes hand in hand. That flag right behind me is the Black Lives Matter, Pride, and transgender flag. We are all in this together, moving our nation forward out of this era of discrimination. And the Black people, we're fighting for them. They're fighting for us. We're all minorities moving this country forward and out of this conservative movement.
I absolutely adore you, Jessica. You are one of the most kind, empathetic, and heroic people that I know. So thank you for being here. And really, this is a historic day for LGBTQ rights.
It's like, get to pop the champagne, baby. It's Mazel Tov time.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
I love you, Jessica. Thank you for joining us. We will be right back. Happy Pride.